boob. I know it's kind of dark-ish. I have like a lot of light there. But this is cute. Hang on. Check this out. Yeah. Sleepyhead. It's my dog, like literally underneath the table. But anyway, this is my reaction rant to Arrow Season 4, Episode 19, titled Canary Cry. I know I said the last video was going to be my reaction rant, but I ended up ranting like crazy about Episode 18 and the repercussions of it. Anyway, this is Canary Cry. Anyway, I know I pretty much said like parts of episode 19 in the last video, because like I said in the last video, that was supposed to be my reaction rant to this episode, Canary Cry, episode 19. But I ended up ranting, and it ended up being a rant video instead, so I'm gonna replay what I said in the last video. The team's mourning Laurel's death, at the same time trying to determine their next move against Damien Dark. But apparently, there's a sighting of the Black Canary, who apparently is stopping an illegal weapons exchange, right? So, everyone thinks it's a possibility it might be Laurel, but at the same time they're like, kind of, it can't be, we saw her die and all that stuff, and you know, Detective Lance is in denial, because, like I said, it's happened before with Sarah, at least twice. From what Detective Lance knows, it's been at least twice with Sarah, and she always came back, right? So, in a way, Detective Lance is doing the same thing when it comes to Laurel. He thinks that Laurel pulled off a Sarah, and, you know, she seemingly died but was brought back somehow, right? And they're even more confused because they see this Black Canary using the sonic device. Remember, Cisco made Laurel a sonic device to have her Canary Cry on it, hence the name Canary Cry. And Oliver notices that, also discovers that Laurel's sonic device, because she was wearing it when she was carried to the hospital, it is missing from her belongings from the hospital. But they're really confused and they're kind of baffled because, you know, they saw Laurel die, but at the same time they know the fact that Cisco Ramon himself actually programmed that sonic device for Laurel for only her vocal cords, apparently. So only Laurel Lance can use that sonic device. So they're like, this Black Canary, there's a Black Canary out there and she's using the sonic device that was only programmed for only Laurel's use. So they're kind of scared, and that further, like, fills the fire within Detective Lance. You know, it's like, if that sonic device was programmed just for Laurel's voice, then it has to be Laurel. This Black Canary has to be her, right? So, they find out, you know, if I remember correctly, Thea ends up having an encounter with this Black Canary because she's out, I think having dinner with that one guy that was, Oliver's campaign manager, and all of a sudden, this Black Canary comes out of nowhere and attacks the campaign manager dude, saying, "You work with them," and all that stuff, and attacks. And Thea pretty much gets a fairly good look at it to the point where she's like, this Black Canary is not Laurel, it's a different girl. So they find out that this Black Canary imposter is actually a young girl by the name of Evelyn Sharp. Evelyn Sharp used to be a Hive prisoner. And if you guys remember in the previous episode, remember when Damien Dark, along with Hive, kidnaps Thea, Diggle, and Felicity and put them in like a gas-looking chamber thing? Apparently, this imposter, Black Canary imposter Evelyn Sharp, she was also a prisoner from Hive and Damien Dark the same time Felicity, Diggle, and Thea were, and they were also in like some sort of like gas-looking chamber thing. And also the fact that Oliver, while rescuing Diggle, Thea, and Felicity that time, left that prisoner, Evelyn Sharp, behind because he believed that that prisoner, when he, when he rescued the team, he thought that that prisoner, which is Evelyn Sharp, he thought that she was working with Damien Dark voluntarily. That's why she straight up left her behind. Turns out that wasn't the case. But anyway, Captain Lance, still in denial of Laurel's death, looks for any way to resurrect her, you know? He's like, he's in denial, but at the same time, he's like, okay, I could bring her back just like Sarah was brought back. You know, Sarah was brought back by the Lazarus pit, right? I could bring her back that way. So he even solicitizes poor Nissa Al Ghul. He's like, Nissa, I need your help. I know you were close to Laurel. I know you were friends with her. And you see him like packing something, like he's going somewhere, right? And Nissa's all talking to Captain Lance about, you know, her bond, her friendship and bond with Laurel, and her condolences to Detective Lance. But at the same time, when he's done packing, he's like, what else do I need to bring? And she's like, excuse me? What? Right? Because I think Nissa just thought that Detective Lance wanted to talk to her to reminisce about Laurel, right? Because, you know, Nissa and Laurel were friends. But turns out the reason why, you know, he called her was because he wanted to go with her to go to the Lazarus pit, you know, to get Laurel, you know, go to Lazarus pit. So, Nissa unfortunately breaks down to Detective Lance saying, I'm sorry, I destroyed that Lazarus pit. So, you know, he's finding other ways to try to resurrect her somehow since Nissa can't help. Diggle, oh my god, Diggle goes on serious rampage mode because he literally blames himself. He's like, he had so much faith in his little brother Andy, right? He believed that Andy was reformed, he was okay. He believed Andy was not the one betraying him, despite the fact, you know, that Oliver kept saying you can't trust Andy, something's not right with Andy, but Diggle kept insisting Andy was fine. And so Diggle, he feels so guilty because, you know, despite Oliver telling him something's up with Andy, he didn't believe Diggle. No, wait. Diggle didn't believe Oliver. Refused to believe that something might have been wrong. Kept thinking, you know, Andy's fine. He's reformed. Only for Andy to betray them to Damien Dark, in which led to Dark killing Laurel. So he blames Laurel's death on himself, mainly because he didn't believe Oliver on the fact that Andy was not, you know, reformed. And so, to take out his anger and guilt on that, he ends up going after Damien Dark's wife, Ruve Adams, aka the mayor of Star City. But right when he was about to seriously shoot her or kill her, Oliver intervenes to prevent him from doing something he would regret, which I don't really blame him on because, yes, he blames himself. You know, I know he feels guilty because he didn't believe Oliver when he said Andy was not reformed. And that led to Andy betraying them, putting back the idol back together, Damien Dark getting his powers back, and also led to the death of Laurel. I do not blame Diggle for having a lot of guilt, and I don't blame him for that huge guilt turning into anger over Andy, over Hive, over Damien Dark. But I don't blame Oliver for trying to stop him, because not that I can remember. Do you guys remember if Diggle ever truly killed someone out of cold blood? Because I don't remember that. I know that he was a soldier and all that stuff, and it happens, but after his soldier life, when he was on Team Arrow, the moment he joined Team Arrow and got associated with Oliver and Arrow and all that stuff, do you remember him ever killing anyone in cold blood? Because I don't think he's ever killed anyone in cold blood. In my honest opinion, the moment he got associated with Oliver and Team Arrow and all that stuff, I don't think I've ever seen John Diggle kill anyone in cold blood. So I'm pretty damn happy that Oliver intervened him, because I knew if that is the case, if Diggle's never killed anyone in cold blood during his whole association with Oliver and the Team Arrow thing, killing someone for the first time in cold blood, that will lead to some serious repercussions. It will screw Diggle up even more. I know he feels guilty about Laurel's death, but killing someone in cold blood for it, it'll make him feel worse. So I'm glad that Oliver intervened doing that. But unfortunately, as a result, Ruve escaped and used her mayor authorization to issue arrest warrants for every vigilante. Because apparently, you know, the Spartan, aka John Diggle, attacks her, and then this Black Canary, who no one knows, everyone assumes it's the same Black Canary. They don't know that Laurel, Lance, and Black Canary are one and the same person, so they naturally assume that this is the same Black Canary that's going all crazy, right? They don't know that Laurel, again, like I said, they don't know Laurel, Lance, and Black Canary are one and the same person, and they don't know that this Black Canary is a different person, being Evelyn Sharp. So she's like, arrest warrant on the vigilante that attacked me and this Black Canary. And, Evelyn Sharp in the Black Canary outfit and of course the sonic device actually literally goes after Ruve publicly during this whole thing. I forgot what she was doing. I think it was like some sort of speech or party or whatever, but Ruve was somewhere where there's a lot of people, especially a lot of rich people, and Evelyn Sharp goes after her because she wants to kill Ruve, right? But despite Evelyn Sharp's very well done way of getting to Ruve, Oliver manages to talk her out of killing the mayor, saying that the Black Canary, she stood for something more. She stood as a hero, and what you're doing is basically smearing a horrible image on the Black Canary. Basically, Oliver told her that, you know, the Black Canary was his friend. She stood for something great. She stood as a hero, and what you're doing by trying to kill Ruve is pretty much dirtying her name, you know what I mean? And because of that speech, Oliver is able to talk Evelyn out of killing the mayor, which I thought was really cool. And I give props to Evelyn Sharp for escaping that quickly out of there, because Oliver had to escape by shooting an arrow up the freaking glass window and getting out of there. She disappeared hella quick after that. I'm not gonna lie to you. But anyway, it was finally time for the fated funeral of Laurel Lance, and Oliver requests to do a speech, and during his speech, Oliver actually reveals to everybody, including Laurel's mom, who I believe, judging by her face, Dinah did not know about Laurel's activities. But Oliver pretty much revealed to everyone there, including Laurel's mother, Dinah, that Laurel was the Black Canary, and that she stood for something so much more, that she stood for heroism, goodness in the world, and to save the city. And so he basically revealed Laurel's identity and asked the people to preserve her image within the city, you know? Preserve her goodness, which I thought was a very amazing speech. But not gonna lie to you, I know that Dinah's shocked because she most likely didn't know Laurel was a Black Canary, but her stone shock face kind of threw me off. Everyone else was like in tears, crying. Even the freaking extras that played the extra people there in the funeral were crying. She was just like that the whole time. So I know she was shocked, but damn. But anyway, afterwards, Oliver vows to Felicity that he's going to kill Damien Dark for what he did to Laurel. And like during the whole episode, we end up getting flashbacks of Laurel and Oliver pretty much struggling to come to terms with the death of Tommy Merlin. If you remember, I think it was like the first season, right? I believe Tommy Merlin died in the first season. And I'm guessing this flashback takes place there, because Oliver and Laurel, they're struggling with coming to terms with Tommy Merlin's death, and they're all talking at Laurel's apartment to the point where they even share a kiss in the flashback. But when Laurel wakes up, she finds that Oliver's gone and leaves a note saying that he needs to cope on his own. And he pretty much leaves Laurel to cope on her own and returns to the island of Lian Yu. Yeah, that funeral. It was just... You'll see in my rant video, my last video, the video I uploaded before this one, my last one, I ranted a lot. So if you want to see my thoughts on episode 18 and 19, 1159 and Canary Cry respectively, and my thoughts on Laurel Lance's death and the reaction of everyone, including Detective Lance, look at the video I uploaded before this, because I had a lot to say. To the point where I pretty much had to make this my reaction rant and not the last video. But anyway, this is my reaction rant to Arrow Season 4, Episode 19, Canary Cry. R.I.P. Dinah Laurel Lance. R.I.P. to the Black Canary. Love you.